Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Midday Live on TV3 with me, AC Benewa Otu. The headlines this afternoon. Volta Inland Fishermen Association demands majority of the Premix Fishermen Council members should be fishermen. Mining firm Goldfields Ghana is to lay about 1,500 of its workers off. And coming up in international news, Amnesty International alleges European governments are knowingly complicit in the torture and abuse of refugees and migrants in Libya. We have these and more coming up in the next 1 hour, including sports and some entertainment stories. Stay with us. And now to our very first story, and Chair of Ghana's Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, has requested the with a copy of the petition seeking her removal. A private legal practitioner, Martin Pebu, says it will be strange if indeed she has not been furnished with copies of the petition, which in itself is against the rules of justice. He spoke with Stephen Anti on News at 10 on Monday.
It would be extraordinary that Mrs. Osei would not be given a copy of the petition. That is not our law at all. Fundamentally, when a person is sued, that person has a right to receive a copy of the allegations against him or her. So for me, I would say that I would prefer we hear directly from the Chief Justice's office as to the veracity of this claim.
Right.
Because it's basic. It's basic. If you don't receive a copy of the allegations, you cannot move the case forward.
Can you tell me from the legal standpoint what the processes will entail? Will it just be interviews and cross-examinations?
That is the bulk of the job, yes. Interviews and cross-examinations, yes, because that is our system for eliciting evidence. That is the way to go about it in order to help the panel to be able to make a determination whether the allegations hold water or not. But apart from that, the panel is also empowered by the Constitution to investigate. So they have investigative powers. So in the event that they are not satisfied with the questions and answers that counsel have asked, they also have powers to investigate as they deem fit. So they would pose questions that would enable them to receive answers that they determine would help in coming to the truth. Yes. In the circumstances of the case.
Well, let's move to other stories now. And the outbreak of H1N1 influenza at the Kumasi Academy has left 4 students dead. The government, in response, has been liaising with the World Health Organization to get vaccines into the country to vaccinate students. A total of 20 students collapsed at St. Martin Senior High School since Sunday evening. Health officials have attributed the cause to hysteria and malaria. Some schools in the northern region almost yearly record cases of cerebrospinal meningitis. All these developments have prompted the National Council of Parent Teachers Association to propose an insurance package for students of the various senior high schools. Right now, though, let's speak to Alexiao Danso, who is the president of the National Council of Parent Teachers Association. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time, Mr. Danso.
My dear.
Well, so the National Council of Parents Teachers Association, you are in Kumasi now. What have you gathered about the Kumaka issue as diagnosis reviews H1N1 outbreak?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. My greetings to your viewers and listeners. Yes, we came to Kumasi 3 days ago.
Okay.
If I want to hear the news of the tragedy at the Kumasi Academy, I asked our regional chairman, the regional chairman in Kumasi, to get in touch with the authorities at the Kumasi Academy to know exactly what was happening. And so they met them last Friday in presence of the municipal chief executive, the school authorities, the municipal director of education, and some other stakeholders, the teachers and all that. And then they told them exactly what they have done to contain the situation. Of course, yesterday when we went there, we also visited. We arrived in Kumasi last Sunday night, and then yesterday we were there. We were impressed with the measures so far taken to contain the situation. So, as I speak with him now, we haven't experienced any death. We haven't experienced any student being taken to the hospital because of the disease. And so
what exactly were you impressed with when you got on the grounds?
Exactly what happened.
I'm asking what you said. You were impressed. I'm asking exactly, what you saw. What is being done?
They help to contain the situation. Teachers risk their lives in carrying the students into their vehicles, sending them to hospital. Such an infectious disease, as they claim, if you get in contact with some, you'll be infected. Okay. But they risk their lives without even, at no cost. They didn't even collect anything. They did it for free, for man and humanity. God and humanity. And also the school authorities, the PTA. The PTA has gone to the extent of paying the medical bills for those who are on admission. The regional, the director of education, the municipal director was always in the school 24 hours till now, and the MCE. So they have all done their best, and so when we went there, we commended them and thanked them. And
the association is, Mr. Danso, the association is proposing, a package, an insurance package for all the students in Ghana's SHS. Would like to find out, when did you arrive at this decision?
Okay, we have been having a spate of accidents on our roads, in our homes, in schools and all that. The Kintampo saga is fresh in our minds. Of course, Timaka has overtaken that one. And then there was an accident there have been series of accidents in our roads, in our schools. Some are being knocked down by vehicles, which involves our students. And so the National Council sat down and decided to have an insurance package for the students. Not all, in fact, it's not compulsory. Those who are interested. And so the premium is 7 Ghana cedis. That is 21 cedis for the year. And the company is not only insuring the students, but the sponsoring parents and guardians as well, at a premium of 7 Ghana cedis per term. And so in case of accidental or natural death of the parent, a lump sum will be given to the student. And because the student had lost his or her sponsoring parent or guardian, cash-wise, he will be trapped. And so at the beginning of every term, he or she will be given 200 Ghana cedis as his pocket money till he completes school. And in addition, if the parent is owing, the company will take up the debt and then pay to the school. Well
noted, Mr. Danso. But have you made this proposal known to the Ghana Education Service?
Yes, when the proposal was sent to us, we studied it, and we have already signed an MOU with the company. Okay. And so we wrote to Ghana Education Service. And let me state categorically that it is not a collaboration between the GES and the National Council of PTAs. It is a private policy. The policy belongs to the National Council of PTAs. GES was only informed. We informed them as the caretakers, the supervising ministry or agency, that the headmasters are the immediate caretakers, and they take instructions from GES. So we informed GES about it, and after studying the proposal, they were satisfied with it. So we were given a letter on the 18th of September that they were satisfied with it. So it is not a collaboration between the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education. It is the National Council of Parent-Teacher Association policy.
Thank you very much. I have been speaking with Alexander Yao Danso. He is the president of the National Association Council of the Parents Teachers Association. Let's move on. And a member of parliament from the majority side, Alex Afenyo-Markin, wants the government to be bold and introduce specific taxes.
The free SHS policy was attacked at inception. Critics have raised concerns about its sustainability. The implementation has been characterized with inadequate logistics, including furniture. The minority has described the over 1 billion budgetary allocation to the free SHS as woefully inadequate. Responding to these issues, MP for Efutu Alex Afenyomarkin said it will not be out of place to introduce taxation as a safe funding source to sustain the policy.
Where tax is imposed and the people know specifically what the tax is being used for, it ceases to be a nuisance tax. The issue of the utilization of such funds in its very transparent manner will be very critical. And to me, I think that's what Ghanaians would want.
Alexander Afenyomarkin disagrees with people who think these issues should have been considered before the policy was rolled out.
At the time we were asking for independence, did we have all the human resources and all the facilities to run our own government? But you needed to take a step. In setting up your business, must you have everything available before you take a step and you grow? The bold step has been taken.
He alluded to the health insurance levy as one thing that has sustained the National Health Insurance Scheme and cautioned against the risk of collapsing the free SHS like SADA and other social interventions that were financed with loans.
Don't let us lose our memory on SADA. We borrowed at a compound interest. It failed. We paid interest. If we want to give education to our children, and we say that, look, one way to look at it and sustain it and to make all the facilities available would be to pinch ourselves a little more by introducing specific taxation to sustain this. Would you say that it is too much for us?
Let's move away from the education sector now. And controversy over premix fuel distribution has been a perennial challenge in the country. The issue got our hands recently read reports suggesting widespread diversion of the subsidized product as the main cause of nationwide shortage. The Energy and Fisheries Ministry jointly banned some 14 unnamed oil companies accused of deeply involved in the diversion of the product. And joining me right now in the studio to talk to this about this issue is Samson Mahu, and he is Chairman, Volta Inland Fishermen Association of Ghana. Good afternoon, Mr. Mahu. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, so the issue you are saying that got out of hands, what really do you want from the ministry?
Yeah, thank you very much. What we want from the ministry is that from the onset, they didn't take due diligence in approving landing beaches. Landing beaches were just formed by front men and then brought to the ministry. And then the committee approved them without verifying even where the communities are situated. So you will find that over 90% of the communities that brought their letters to Accra are landlocked communities. There are no communities that the trucks can enter and deliver the fuel. So, and even the community members are not aware that even landing beaches have been formed in their name. So when the product is given out, it is sold anywhere, and the people even don't know that fuel have been made in their name. So this is the real problem that we are faced with. So we are asking that the Fishermen Association should play a major role in identifying suitable communities that premix fuel should be sent to, so that they can monitor the movement of the trucks to the communities, so that if a fuel does not reach there, they have a case with the driver who is supposed to send the fuel.
How long has this issue persisted, and how has your association tried to deal with it?
Yeah, thank you. This issue has been there from the beginning of this year. We called on the association executives called on the minister as soon as she assumed office. We introduced ourselves to her, and we told her that we'll be happy if she will meet us in one of our nearby communities. We are speaking on the inland area. community so that we will give her an insight into the whole issue of premix and then other issues. But since March up to this date, we have never met the minister. Anytime I send my colleagues to her, they will say she's traveling, she's busy. When she comes out, they'll contact us, and nobody contacts us. And at the committee as it is now, right now, you have people on the committee who are not fishermen or whatever.
Oh, do you think that, you know, fishermen being part of it will solve the issue?
Yes, will solve the issue because they are real stakeholders. Look, recently people suggest that they should be giving coupons, or they should go to the filling stations and buy petrol and mix it with engine oil. That will cost about 25 cedis per gallon.
Okay.
And right now, the premise is 7 cedis, 50 pesos. Fishing is an expedition. You go, you catch, you don't catch, you come back and go again. And if the overhead cost is too much, you can't go and go. Then you'll be out of business. So we are saying that the fishermen should play a major role. Look, the chairman of the committee should be a seasoned fisherman so that he will feel for his colleagues. Right now, last year and previous years, the weekly allocation was around 120 trucks to 150 trucks a week. But currently, it's about 200 trucks and over a week. And still, the fishermen are not getting the tin continuously. So where is the extra going?
Well, so some have suggested that, you know, the entire premix system should be scrapped off.
Yes, yes.
What do you make of that?
Yes, you see, that suggestion will come from somebody who is not actively fishing. So that will be the easiest way, and I would say an armchair way of solving a problem. But to come to the rescue of the poor fishermen, then they should be involved in the distribution.
Thank you very much. We'll have time and deal with this issue more in subsequent bulletins. I have been speaking with Samson Mahu, and he is a chairman of Volta and Inland, Fishermen Association. Let's do other stories. And security expert Adam Bonah is calling for closer collaboration between ECOWAS member states and the AU to stem the tide of illegal small arms flow into the country. Speaking on TV3's News at 10 on Monday, Adam Bonah also tasked the security service to endeavor to improve on the lack of trust when it comes to citizens volunteering information.
People are becoming emboldened. People are now finding ways and means to purchase most of these guns that are coming from that area. And so one would say that the economic, the sub-regional groupings, AU, I mean, this issue about illegal arms within probably Africa, within the sub-region, it's something that one country cannot deal with. There is an issue of trust when it comes with, citizens who want to volunteer information that has to do with someone who's about committing a crime. Usually, you will have those who commit, a lot of these heinous crimes, so in bed with some of this. And so, whistleblowers who might go to a police station or BNI, we have BNI offices, officers all over the country. And so the question you ask, what are they doing? The truth is that sometimes people become too afraid to volunteer information that would help in arresting these people. And security, safety is a shared responsibility. But the truth is that if, as an ordinary citizen, you volunteer information, and the next thing is you become a victim yourself because you volunteered information and the bad guys are going to hit you. Next time, you will not dare volunteer information. And so one would say that we need to begin to reorient the way our security couples are trained.
This is still Midday Live here on TV3 with me, AC Benoit Otu. Let's move on to the northern region now. And the police have beefed up security in Nayong Number 1, a community in the Brumprungu Yoyo district. This is after some unidentified gunmen numbering about 8 on 4 motorbikes attacked traders at a market and fired indiscriminately into them. 4 women were killed and 8 others injured, including 2 women on Sunday, December 10, 2017. The CID homicide unit from the headquarters in Accra is helping to investigate. Let's get more on this particular development from our Northern Region correspondent Zubeida Ismail. Zubeida, good afternoon. And what more can you tell us from your area?
What I can say is that since the police and military joint team was deployed to the area, calm has since returned because people suspected that there could be a reprisal attack since nobody knew where the gunmen were coming from. And so because of that, the police quickly deployed joint military and then police team to the area, including some officers from the homicide unit in Accra to also help investigate the incident. And so I can tell you that calm has been restored to the area, and also with the injured are still at the hospital, and we are told that they are responding to treatment. Well,
but has the police been able to make any arrests yet?
They haven't made any arrests, but then before the shooting on over the weekend, on Friday, 5 persons were arrested with guns and then some cartridges, about 100 cartridges. And we do not know if the police would want to link these two events, because these persons that were arrested were also heading to the same area, and they were arrested. And a day after, we hear there are gunshots and people being killed. And so, aside those that were arrested earlier before the firing on the next day, there haven't been any arrests again.
For now, how are the residents coping after the murder of the 4 people?
It's been quiet here. I've been in the region since this morning. I've taken information from the district police commander, Mr. De La Poste, and he tells me that residents are going about their normal duties, and so there is no alarm.
That was my colleague Zubeida Ismail, who reports from the Northern Region. This is Midday Live. Stay with us. We have more news coming up after this break. So business now, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Bui Power Authority, Fred Owari, has indicated plans are underway to merge the Bui Power Authority with the VRA. Speaking at an encounter with the media, he said a committee has been formed to look into the merger and will begin sitting tomorrow.
The Bui Generation Station was built at a cost of about $800 million, with the Chinese government providing a concessional loan of $260 million and a buyer's credit of $298 million. The government of Ghana also contributed $60 million. Since its inauguration in December 2013, the facility has been generating averagely 220 megawatts of power daily to the national grid, though its installed capacity is 400 megawatts. The CEO of the Bui Power Authority, though declined to give figures, indicated that the facility, since it began operation 5 years ago, has generated enough to pay a significant part of the buyer's credit, adding it's been a profitable business.
Even the concessionary loan that Ghana government is paying, there's been an agreement that has been executed between Ghana government and BPA that when we finish paying the buyer's loan, they would have finished paying the concessionary loan, but they would let us pay. So it's been unlent to us.
He said it's a cabinet decision to merge the authority with that of the VRA, and that a committee formed to advise government on it will begin sitting tomorrow.
If it comes and said, merge and put all assets in one balance sheet, that would be a government decision. But at the committee level, I can only offer some advice. Once upon a time, all the companies which had anything to do with the energy generation was under VRA. We saw the wisdom and took ECG out.
On renewable energy, he said the authority intends to become the first hybrid generating company by the end of 2018, combining hydro and solar power generation.
We have finished the construction. We have tested and commissioned a switchyard capable of evacuating 250 megawatts of power.
The Electricity Company of Ghana says it has substantively been able to resolve all issues with its prepaid card system. Last week, the ECG built operate transfer vending prepaid system failed, leaving thousands of customers in parts of Accra unable to purchase prepaid credits for power.
Though the Electricity Company of Ghana says it has solved all its data reconciliation problems, which made it difficult for some customers to purchase credit somewhere last week, some customers are still not convinced and have decided to come back here at the project center at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle to buy credit. Now, we will be engaging them briefly to find out from them what were their real challenges when they went back home and what has informed their decision to come back here to the project center. Why are you still here?
I'm here to purchase credit.
But I know the problem has been solved, so you could have still bought it out.
That's what they are saying, but we haven't seen anything yet. The situation is still as it is. We haven't seen anything. I've been coming here for the past 1 week. So for the past 1 week, we are still in darkness. So nothing has come. We haven't seen anything.
Me pa try na ofi buy.
Me pa try awushi.
Awushi. Na adenti na wabahasa awushi vending point e wo ho no. Minim say ECG for so ma solve problem ni nyina nso awi. Nti ade na wafa ka free awushi to wabaha no.
Me pa try me ko ho no ma sila o mo si machine enfa. Nti gise me de ba ha behwe. Nti o mo ye ma me pese me to na me hu se fa wo ha nsa na me de akọ me ho.
E be kan se wo beto wa ha iti na ma ba ha no. Ade ba ka na me wo. Iti makwada bakaba na meji akotwe so aba iti misi mba beto unity.
All right, so we will be talking to the General Manager Revenue Collection here at the project office at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle to get some answers to all these challenges.
What we are doing now, we are only mopping up and then we are changing cars for those who have either damaged their cars or they have misplaced their cars. Those who will change it for them. But a lot of customers are damaging their cars because they don't know how to use their cars. You know, when you have a card, you are not supposed to put it on your phone. You are not supposed to put it on any electronic gadgets. The moment you do that, deactivate the card. So we've made a lot of cars for people. They've gone. Some few behind me, you can see that people are there. It's because they are unable to use their cars because they've gone to damage their cars. But we are still replacing it for them. At no cost to the customer, but at our cost.
Okay. Now, we understand some people are also still buying credit, and what they are telling us is that they went home after their problem was solved for them, but then they couldn't buy credit from their various vending points.
If we do the card for you, what I realize, I've interviewed some few, what I realize is that when we give them the card, now the card is updated with the current information. In the meter is not updated with the current because you have the current data on the card. So we tell them to go back, swipe the card on the meter so that you update the meter to have the same information on the card before you buy. But I won't blame them because the person is in a hurry. So when they get the card, they rush first to the customer service point to buy. And that is why they go and they say they cannot buy. But when they come here, they're able to buy because we educate them. So I'll ask those who are listening to me, what I'm saying is that when you get a card, first swipe the card on the meter so that the meter and the cards have the same number of times. Then you can buy without any problem.
So that is all we have for you. We will be following up on this development to give you up to the minute update on this issue. For TV3 News, Kwabna Edu Jemfi.
Yeah, we'll really be bringing you more on that particular development. Let's move to other news. And mining firm Goldfields Ghana is to lay off about 1,500 of its workers. The retrenchment is expected to affect majority of its miners at the Tarkwa mine. TV3 Business has gathered the layoffs will take effect this month, December 2017. Goldfields has told TV3 Business it has to undertake the layoffs due to the current life of the mine, which stands at between 5 and 6 years, and cannot purchase a new fleet because of the short payback period. This is the second time within 3 years that mining firm has embarked on such a massive retrenchment exercise. In 2014, it laid off about 400 of its workers over similar concerns. Goldfields Ghana's Vice President and Head of Corporate Affairs, Mr. David Johnson, confirming the retrenchment exercise to TV3 Business, explained that a company has changed its mining model at the mine from owner mining operations to contractor operations because it will operate at a loss if it goes on with its previous model. According to Mr. Johnson, the retrenchment will affect a number of its departments. He, however, adds that majority of the workers will be laid off. Who will be laid off will be re-employed by the contractor who will take over mining activities of the mine. Let's speak to Prince William Lankra, and he is General Secretary of the Mine Workers Union. Good afternoon, Mr. Lankra. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Well, so Goldfields Ghana has explained that, the company has changed its mining model at the mine from owner mining operations to contractor operations because it will operate at a loss if it goes ahead with its previous model. So what exactly is your concern or your issues with this particular decision to lay off the workers?
Yeah, but I think you recall that I've been in the industry for a couple of years and I understand the logic of contract mining what makes business sense. And for that matter, we did it with Goldfields in the year 2015. When obviously the demand situation made it urgently imperative that we go that route.
Okay.
So why this time around we say no? It's all because the business model that is shown in respect of information on their website and information that they are giving us conflicts.
Okay.
So we are saying that look, we looked at your information of a lack of mine, it conflicts with what's on your website. Your fleet and aged fleet that you mentioned will delve into analysis. It's not the right picture that has been painted. And on that basis, we can come along with it because notice that even when these guys go on contract mining, they go on what they call zero-sum contract. A contract that makes your benefit reduce drastically, your pay can be halved because they expect these contract mining to be cheaply so that they can win the deal. So it's a so complex ball game. So when you have a structured collective bargaining agreement negotiated inside, where employees sweat and also earn what they are due at the end of the month. And suddenly, we not to shortchange their living standard because of a convenience that's not convincing. Excuse me, we are a civil union organization, and as leaders, we're not going to come along with us. So that's really the issue. Or what we say that, look, when we get to that stage, it's only fair that we get a third party with the right technical reputation to talk to the issues and convince the parties, because we are also delving into this. We talk to analysts who understand mining, and Deloitte had done many research in the South African mining companies. We are saying that, look, we are prepared to pay as a union to get Deloitte to offer advice as to who is making sense as a business plan or not. So let's get serious here. This nation has been king for Ghana for many years. Model that suit the points and capitals of business leaders put across there is bought into go ahead. It's not going to happen that cheap. So we are contesting the status quo. And if you are nothing to hide, let it sincere, let's roll out and do the right thing. Because that man, we understood them, we will sign off. Now, dubiously, someone sits in the comfort of his office and because he kept pace so much, they sway in terms of rationality, do a letter to Labor Department, lying to them that we will reach an MOU and we are denying that we are refusing to sign the MOU. Excuse me, we're not going to go that route. All we said was that at that point in time, you can tell the Labour Commission what the situation is as it sits. That yes, the union has difficulty getting our business plan money because they think that, well, the figures that we are showing and what they also have are conflicting. We have decided to get an expert to go to look into period. Then the case we looked at with that lens, it comes to a closure.
Well,
today.
Mr. Ankra, do we know, Mr. Ankra, hello, sorry.
We can't share with you.
Mr. Ankra, do we know when these layoffs will begin?
Well, per the plan, they serve a notice, the notice hadn't elapsed. The notice they serve in October, so it goes for 3 months. Okay. So in the conversation, if we had done, they would sign on, the people would be later. Now what they've done is that they have shortened the process, noting that employees are scared of job loss here and there, threatening them with stand if by tomorrow you don't go for medical checkup and you don't show interest whatsoever, it's up to you. Meanwhile, there will be an element of voluntary redundancy. Voluntary redundancy becomes a matter of last resort. If you claim you want to go under mining, contract mining, or a business case, why this sneaky approach? So it's all dodgy and I can't get it, so that's why it is now. But we are willing to place a call injection. That it doesn't make sense, and for that matter, the case needs to be looked into maturely so we can bring it to a closure. Thanks so much, Mr. Ankra, for talking to us. Prince Williams Ankra is the General Secretary, Ghana Mine Workers Union, speaking to us on issues with regards to the retrenchment of goldfield mine workers. In other news, maize yield in Ghana stands at 1.7 metric tons per hectare, a year far below the expected 8 metric tons. With the country's population increasing at a rate of 2.5%, the low yield of maize is a food security concern. Professor Felix Asante of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research suggested the best agriculture practices that we need is a yield gap can be closed.
The maize sector has consistently increased in the level of output. However, recorded increase in output has largely been attributed to increase in area under cultivation rather than increase in yield. Maize yields have marginally increased from about 1.2 tons per hectare in 1990 to 1.7 tons per hectare in 2014. Ghana consumes 40 million bags of maize annually, translating into 1,000 metric tons a year. Director of ISA, Professor Felix Asante, noted the causes of low yields can be attributed to dependence on rainfall, poor agronomic practices, low fertilizer use, among others. He said this in Accra at a roundtable policy workshop on integrated assessment of determinants of maize yield gaps in sub-Saharan Africa. Professor Felix Asante indicated the low yield situation as a result of security concerns.
We are doing this because we expect that population will double by 2050. We expect that Ghana's population will be hitting almost 45 to 50 million. Land is also becoming scarce, so we have to make maximum use of a piece of land. So if we're able to build, to bridge this gap, then we can get more output per unit plot of land.
A senior scientist and a market and policy analyst at Wageningen University and research at the Netherlands, Dr. Roel Jognel, indicated the program was to identify the potential and what is actually produced and deal with the bottlenecks.
So first identify the yield gap and then try to explain this yield gap, what are the factors causing this big gap. And when we have identified that, we could say as a next step see what policies could help to overcome these bottlenecks and improve the maize yields.
General Secretary for the Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karewe, stressed on the need for good pricing, storage, marketing and insurance for the farmers to boost increased and improved yields.
At the heart of production is efficiency and effectiveness. So the technical knowledge of the producers is critical, and farmers here will require that technical knowledge from extension officers. In order to increase their technical knowledge, you need to actually get more extension officers.
The research aimed at generating results relevant for policymakers by providing insights into drivers of agricultural performance and helping farmers and rural communities on productivity.
Stay with us for more after this. And several stars have come out of TV3's reality shows. One of them who has made a lot of waves this year is talented kids DJ Switch. The 9-year-old has been turning heads at various events with her craft. Adjuamofose reviews her journey from the beginning of the competition till now.
She was discovered on TV3's flagship kids program, Talented Kids, from the Takrade auditions. Together with 21 other acts that began the journey, she proved beyond all reasonable doubt that indeed she was in for the win. Her consistency on the show wowed not only judges, but audience and even guest appearances, as they got fascinated with every spin on the turntable. 9-year-old Erica Tandor, popularly known as DJ Switch, eventually emerged winner of the competition and has had a good year so far. From playing at various award shows, concerts and meeting different celebrities, Switch has become the talk of the town and has acquired for herself the stardom status amongst her peers. She, however, believes she needs to up her game consistently to stay on top.
I'm very happy, and that tells me that I have to work hard and train hard. I have to do whatever they ask me to do.
Erica has a dream of becoming a medical doctor, but will also not do away with her God-given talent. She hopes that a combination of the two will be a motivation for young ones to strive and achieve anything they plan to do. Indeed, TV3 is redefining the news and creating stars.
Now you may kiss your bride. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of Midday Live with me, Esi Benewa Oti. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good afternoon.